Hey guys, it's me, Bell. I am the raid leader for Zephyr, and today I'm gonna do a little bit of a guide of how our looting system works for normal and heroic. It's to make sure everyone's on the same page and everyone knows how the gear is awarded. So, starting off, you are going to need an add-on. Its name is Core Loot Manager, and everyone needs to have this who's in the raid. Now, where you can find this add-on, it's either gonna be on mini bottom bag if you have that, or around your map, or if you have this drop down, it's gonna be here. So let's open it up. Now, as you can see here, this pops up. Every other tab you don't care about. You can check the audit and history to like see when raids happened and stuff like that, but you really aren't gonna be using that. The one thing you're gonna care about is this right here. This is the standings. So basically you have a couple numbers here. Your priority, EP, which is effort points, and GP, which is gear points. Everyone has this, and everyone is going to be starting out with 50 effort points. What that means is whenever you join a raid for the very first time in Zephyr, you get 50 effort points for free. Everyone does this. It's a one-time thing. It's so that on your first raid you can actually roll on gear. Now, for gear point, you only acquire this whenever you buy some gear using your effort points. So without further ado, I'll get started. On-time bonus value, whenever the raid starts. In my case, it starts at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. on the dot, raid leaders are going to create the raid. Raid will be able to be seen, like this one right here, by us. And at 7 sharp, what we're gonna do is start selected raid. As soon as this happens, you can see I have gone 20 points just for being in the raid. Now if you look over here, I used to have 50, now I have 70. So do these other two people, right? We are all participating in this raid, so just because we were here on time, we got 20 points. Now I know some of you might be late. It's only heroic, only normal. If you're not here on time, it doesn't mean you can't join the raid anymore. All it means is that you will be missing out on the original 20 points, but the good news is there's a potential total of 100 points. There's 20 for getting there on time, 35 for being there at the end of the raid when we finish, and then 5 for each boss. So a full clear, and if you full clear and we're there on time and for the whole raid, you can get a total of 100 points. Now, these points are important because they dictate how loot works. So basically your gear points get divided by your effort points. So 70 divided by 1, my priority is 70 for gear. But as soon as I'm gonna get some more gear points, that's gonna drop down to 1, 2, lower priorities in general. So let's go into auctioning. In my bag, I have this item right here, a healing potion, and I'm gonna auction it off. So this is the tab that only us, well, particularly only me, am gonna see. And our items, you're not gonna be able to place bids on them. They have a standard price. Either you're willing to pay that price or you're not. And the price is in gear points, right? It's an imaginary currency that exists within this system. So depending on how rare the item is, it might cost more, it might cost less. Doesn't matter. You will be able to see it. So let's set this up. The healing potion, let's say it's the lowest value item. It's only 30 gear points, and over here is auction length, how long the auction is going to take. Usually it's going to be 90 seconds. When that 90 seconds expires, the auction is done. If you haven't bid yet, you cannot bid anymore. And if you weren't paying attention, I'm sorry, that's on you. Auctions will not be done again. So once it's off, you can say, oh, I forgot to bid. I'm going to say sorry. Next time the item drops, please do bid. Alright, but in this case, we're gonna do, let's do 360 seconds so I get some time to go through the window with you. Alright, 360, let's start this off. Perfect. So this right here, this is what everyone will be seeing. Now, like I said, the auctioning tab you won't be seeing, but you will be seeing this. Over here, you'll be able to like hover over the item to kind of see what the item is better. Over here is going to be the name of the item, and then you're going to have a couple options, right? 30, that's the cost. Main spec, off spec, cancel. Now, cancel will not be working. I've disabled it. You can simply pass the item if you want to cancel, right? So if you're gonna bid with main spec, I'm gonna appear here as a bidder, and if you want to cancel the action, just press pass and you will be canceled. It will count as a pass instead. Now, one caveat I want to talk about is if you do pass the item, you cannot go back. So make sure you pass. When you pass, you make sure you know that, right? You cannot go back. You cannot bid again. It's over, right? Now, let's talk a bit about how the gear is decided. As you can see here, the bid is 30, so it's gonna be 30 for everyone. We don't really bid, that's just it. And then current means your current priority, and your role is your role. The add-on does all this for us. So let's say we have 3 people who have rolled on this item, and I am the highest priority at 70, and 2 other people have priorities of 60 and 1 of 50, right? Since I have the highest priority, none of their roles matter. I have highest priority, I'm the only one with high priority, I get the item. However, if 2 people bid and they have the same priority, the one with the higher role takes the item. So priority gets counted first, then role. Now let's talk a bit about off spec. Now when you change to off spec, you can see that the number has turned to blue. This means that you will be counted below people who have rolled for main spec. So even if your priority is high, the item will go to people who have rolled for main spec first, and then if no one rolled for main spec, it will be distributed to off spec people. Now, there is a thing I want to draw attention to. You can, if you want, roll main spec, but then roll it on an off spec loot, and we might not be able to see it, right? But if you do that, I want you to know that you will be removed from the guild and you will not be raiding again, because it's a bit of a trust-based system and it's only heroic and normal. If you can't keep your temper, or like you feel like you want to cheat other people, then we feel you should find a different guild. That being said, let's move back to main spec over here and talk a bit more about this. Over here, sometimes you will be shown some of the items you have. Usually the items that like you have in that current socket are displayed here, and by looking at them you can tell kind of like, I can see what everyone has, right? And in some cases you can sometimes make like a better decision. Oh, this person needs it more, or that person needs it more. But in our case, for the most part, we're purely gonna go off numbers, unless by some mathematical miracle some 2 people have the same priority and then get the exact same roll. In that case, we'll just ask them to either roll again, just them 2 in chat, or like we'll go off whoever needs it more. Alright, so over here, if you look over to the auctioning window, you can see that us as GMs and officers, we can see the same window, right? So when this auction over here finishes, we will be able to click on the person with the highest score. We can see their bid. In this case it's 30. The value automatically gets added, and then we award them. Now a couple other things. If you're the only one bidding for the item, only one, you do not get gear score. Alright? You get it for free. No one else wants it. I don't see a reason why I should charge you gear score for it. So on and so forth. Number 2, if you bid you don't get any gear score if you lose. So bid as freely as you want. You only get the gear scores charge if you actually win the item, right? So keep those two things in mind. And again, usually we'll have only 90 seconds for this. So if you pass, if you miss the auction, they will not be redone. You will have to wait until the item drops again. So make sure you're paying attention. Alright? Other than that, the way it's gonna work is all the loot's gonna go in my bag. As soon as it's in my bag, I'm gonna start the auctioning process off, and then I'm gonna trade you the gear that you want, and so on and so forth, until every person has gotten the gear they desire. So let's give it another 10 seconds here, and I will show you what happens once you have one gear and how gear score affects your overall priority. Awesome. I won this item. I'm gonna have it awarded to myself. And there we go. Now this auction has ended. That was the only item. So let's look at this again. Over here you can see that my priority has now dropped to 2.3. This is because again, EP gets divided by GP. So now I'm only at 2.3. So my priority is even lower now. So now I'll have to raid a couple times until I get my priority back up. That's it. We chose this system because it ensures that people get loot distributed evenly, and at the end of the day, if you feel like this system is too slow for you, I would suggest you go into dungeons. You can get better tier set from dungeons, higher eye level from M+, and usually a lot better gear than heroic you can get from M+. So if you have just like a few items you want from raid, save your effort points, get those rare items you want from raid, and then get most of your gear from 1+, and you'll be in a very good spot for mythic. Other than that, there's two more announcements I have to make, and then I'll finish this video. Below, I'm gonna be posting a sort of sheet. I'm gonna be placing all the prices, all the gear score prices for everything. Like I said, very rare items are gonna cost a lot more than items no one wants. It's obvious, right? If the item everyone wants drops, I want it to be a more meaningful choice, and the person who got that item will be sitting on the sidelines until they can get another item for a little bit longer, since they got such a rare item. The other thing is, this only covers normal and heroic and doesn't cover mythic at all, and I know a lot of you are interested in raiding mythic, so I will be posting another video that covers what classes are in mythic, what you should do to get in mythic, the sort of mentality we're looking for people who are raiding mythic. I'm kind of covering all of mythic, including the type of system we're gonna use there for loot, because there we're gonna be using loot console. As in mythic we care more about the entire strength value of the raid itself than individual strength value. We want the best possible items to go to the best possible specs that are running in a raid. That would be it. If you have any more questions, I'm Belials in Discord. There's a crown next to my name. I'm online most of the time. Feel free to text me. Feel free to ask me anything. I'll go over it with you again. I'll explain it again. And yep, that's basically it. And I'll see you guys September 10th or whenever I get to see you raiding. Have a great one.